Bieber's feeling it. Selena's dishing it out. Let's talk about rejection.
No. On today's episode of The Game Over Show. Welcome to the Game Over Show.
What was that, sir? Gotta be here between the breaks.
You could join our studio audience too. And producer Fiona will give you her cell phone number so that you can call her and get in the studio audience. Until then, this is the Game Over Show. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
And that makes me Lisa Stedman.
Thank God. Right? And today we're talking about rejection. Everybody has to go through rejection at some point.
Yeah.
And
in life, love, and relationships, we're specifically talking about dating and relationship rejection today.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
So we have some examples of some things in the news, right?
We do. Let's get to what's hot. We've got a sound effects machine in here today. In the form of Charles J. Orlando. Webs.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. So rejection can lead you to all kinds of crazy behavior. Case in point, Justin Bieber.
And we do talk about celebrities on the show, but I think we don't have a choice but to talk about his recent stuff, right?
Smoking the doobies.
Right. And now Selena, third time's a charm.
Well, they keep re-hooking up, and she, I gotta say, is handling herself. Now, I always say no contact with the ex, but she's creating a new dynamic and saying, I'm just gonna have fun with you. But I don't think he's liking that. I think that's sending him over the edge.
Well, and it is, right? I mean, this is a kid,
remember, like 20?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Who has never been told no. You know, He's had everything he's wanted for however long, and now somebody's like, you want to be with me. That's a really good idea. That's really creative.
I'll fly in.
Here's how we're going to do that,
yeah.
right? And I'm going to get my needs met, and your needs are whatever I decide they are. Is really how she's doing it now.
Selena, good for you.
Right.
Honey, good for you.
See, well, and this goes to a variety of places, right? Like, we've said many times on the show that you want a guy to keep you around, you got to make him work. It's primal. You got to make him chase you.
Yeah,
and nobody wants to play the game and blah, 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 but you have to.
Well, in this scenario, she does. But speaking of rejection, let's talk about the crazy behavior he's engaging in. Like, he is smoking a lot of pot. We've seen a lot of pictures of that. He's hanging out with a bunch of, rappers that I've never actually heard of. Not even the cool ones. And,
B-level, C-level.
Some monkey. He has a monkey that he couldn't get out of Germany.
Oh, right. That he just left. Like, disposable life form. Nice.
Dude, rejection is making you all kinds of crazy. I'm calling game over on your behavior, Justin Bieber. You need a good old-fashioned spanking and not from Selena.
Are you volunteering?
No, I don't. And also, pull up your motherfucking pants. I don't want to see your ass. If I do, I'll spank it. All right, I guess I will spank it. But pull up those drawers, dude. Nobody needs to see the bottom of your butt cheeks.
Well, the reality of that is that entire style...
Sorry, I dropped an MF bomb. Couldn't help it.
Well, I think you're entitled to that, basically. I mean, but most people, especially with this situation, most people don't recognize that that's not a hip-hop thing. What it is a jailhouse thing. Clothes don't fit. So they end up, sagging down below your waist because you just get prison issue. That's the way it is.
Is that where the hip-hop style came from originally?
No, oh my God, no.
Okay.
Anybody who's been in the hip-hop culture knows that that's not the deal.
Okay.
But
he's wearing it that way.
And a lot of people are. In the hip-hop community, the industrial artists that aren't real hip-hop stars.
How do you know the difference?
Well...
I know this is a totally different topic, but I'm curious.
We'll get into that off the air.
Okay, because I am really curious about this because I know it's a hip hop style, but if its origins aren't in
it's
that,
become a hip hop style.
Okay.
But
okay, got it.
But people take it to the weird extreme. We'll take a different show.
But like
us rejecting that entire style.
Pull your pants up is all I'm saying. I don't want to see the bottom of your butt cheeks, boys. Get a belt.
We are rejecting you, which brings us to today's He Said.
She Said.
Lisa was just apologizing for her MF bomb. Again.
Really try and keep it clean, not. All right. Rejection.
Yeah.
Little word, big pain in the butt.
Right. Well, and it plagues a variety of relationships at all stages. Mm-hmm. At all stages.
So one of the things that I like to point out to people who are newly dating is that you're not so much getting rejected as in the dating scene. This is before you've decided to be in a relationship. So I'm talking specifically about dating.
Right.
A lot of times, and women are especially guilty of this, but I know men are too, the person doesn't call you back after 1 or 2 dates and you are on the floor. It's like you have been rejected. And that's not actually rejection. That's like selection.
Well, yeah, and it is
selection. And that's going to happen in the dating world. And if you look at every time someone doesn't call you back as massive rejection, you're going to be on the floor a lot. It's just a numbers game, and you got to be in it to win it.
Sure. Well, and I kind of see this as kind of infiltrating our entire culture, right? So all the competition shows that you see are filled with rejection, and you get somebody at the audition level, who went in for one audition, and the judges, you can talk about American Idol or X Factor or whatever, and they get in front of the judges that we see televised. We don't see the 4 or 5 other auditions they've actually gone through.
Right.
But then they get rejected, and they are crushed into oblivion. They're dead. The whole show actually is an audition, and one person gets the part at the end of the show. So everybody's going to be rejected except for one. Yes,
and so this is an important point, I think, when dating, when in a relationship, is the emotional stamina you need to withstand the rejection in your life. Because if you're going to go on a competition show specifically, whether it's Bachelor, X Factor, American Idol, you got to know there's going to be rejection in it. The same with dating, right? Because not everybody's going to be right for you. If you are, and again, I'm using that bathroom floor because we've all been there. If you are on that bathroom floor crying every time someone doesn't call you back or doesn't want a second or a third date, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back out there. Wasted time.
Well, see, and the problem really occurs when you have someone who has their sense of worth or their worthiness of love or their self-esteem external, right? So they meet somebody and they instantly feel this kind of connection, and they put their sense of self-worth out there on that person. And if that person doesn't accept it, they've already put it out there. So now it'll go away when the other person rejects them. And now they're crushed because the shell of themselves has been left out in the cold. So you have to have enough sense of self to go through this process, right? I mean, you have to have a healthy self-esteem, and a real sense of your own self-worth. But that's self-worth, not somebody else deciding. If you're waiting for permission and for someone to assign you worthiness, you're never going to get it.
Well, you're going to be waiting a long time, and you're going to feel really empty and lacking. And so here's the distinction, because you can be disappointed that someone isn't calling you back. You can be disappointed that it didn't work out, but disappointed is different than rejection. You're allowed to feel disappointed. If you want to feel rejected, go for it. But like Charles is saying, that's I need your validation to make me complete. And that's showing up, frankly, on the wrong page when you're dating.
The moment you let somebody else's opinion of you define who you are, you've lost. That's really the deal. That's really the deal.
So what happens once you start dating and you're in a relationship with somebody and then rejection starts showing up, whether it's a breakup or you have a disagreement and you're feeling that rejection?
Well, and a lot of times that happens, especially in today's challenging economic environment, job environment, kids coming into a marriage, all kinds of stuff. The dynamics change, and you have, let's take it as an example, a new baby. Okay.
I was thinking that one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
I can relate to that one.
New kid, new child, new kid comes into the relationship, and now there's a whole different set of dynamics where maybe maybe it's a girl, let's pretend, and the father really identifies this is daddy's girl. Or the mother is first child, and now she is really involved with this child. So now you're, by default, rejecting, big quotes, the other person, even though you may not be.
Right.
You have to talk that kind of stuff through, because it's a reallocation of effort. It's not a dismissal of what's valuable. Right. It's just a reallocation of energy. But you have to talk about it. Otherwise you feel like crap.
And I think this is the key, is you need to talk about it. You also need to know your own patterns. If you have a fear of rejection or abandonment, hi, my name is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, hi. And it consistently shows up in all your relationships. You need to know that about yourself, so that you're checking that and you're dealing with it and you're communicating about it. You're not bad or wrong for having those feelings, but being really self-aware and communicating with your partner or your friends or your family to say, you know, this is what's coming up for me in a healthy way, not in an attacking way. Always be fair about it. But first, you gotta know yourself, and you gotta know what triggers you.
Sure, and that highlights the point, right? That rejection isn't necessarily external about them. It's all about how you feel about what's happening. It's still an internal battle. So whether it's an established relationship, whether it's a new relationship, and things are shifting out here, it doesn't have to define who you are.
Yeah. So what about going through a breakup or a divorce and feeling rejected? Especially if it was sprung on you like that.
Or if it's a really long-term relationship. I think part of that is normal.
Yeah.
You know, and all of what we're talking about is normal, right? It's just about identifying the accountability within it, so that you can hold what's yours and leave everybody else's out there.
Yeah, and it's really about how you deal with, and also how you label it. Right. You know, a lot of relationships end. That's a reality. Can they be saved? Maybe, maybe not. But you're in a space where if you're going through a divorce or you're going through a breakup, your relationship is ending or has ended. Now, you decide if you want to walk around for the next 3, 6, 9 months, years, deciding if the story is, I'm a failure and I've been rejected.
Right.
If you walk around with that story, chances are you're either doomed to repeat it, or you're going to be alone, because people are like, whoa, I'm feeling some nego energy there. So the key during a breakup or divorce is to allow yourself to feel that disappointment, that rejection, that heartbreak, that pain. You got to go through those 5 stages of grieving.
Right.
But then it's up to you to rewrite your story and change what your belief is about what's possible for you. And when you start dating again, down the road, not right away, but when you start dating again, not walk around going, they're going to reject me too, because then you're just setting up that pattern, and you're waiting for that rejection to occur. And it might not occur, but if you're waiting for it, that's all you're going to see.
Well, sure. And dealing with rejection long term is about taking your power back. So when you put yourself out there and you feel rejected, excuse me, you're feeling something that's external. When you take your power back, it's pulled back in. So even in a long-term relationship of years and years, where it's normal to feel some of that, like something went away that you've had for a long time, that's very normal. And what's wrong with me? Why did this happen? How did I fail? How did I do this to myself? That's normal too. Yeah. But there comes a point where you stop going through that, and you grab your power back, and you say, okay, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna do it differently this time. And that's normal too. That's normal too. So take your power back.
I like the taking your power back. You're all about that lately. I like that. It's a good thing.
It's my power. Don't try to take it.
Words to live by.
Do you have a story about rejection? We don't want to hear it. No. Do you have a story about rejection? Please let us know. Head over to facebook.com/thegameovershow, and we want to hear it.
We do. We really do. We promise. He will not reject you. I will not reject you. It is a safe space. Come in. Producer Fiona might reject you. But probably not.
Until next week, this has been The Game Over Show. This is Lisa Stedman.
That's Charles J. Orlando.
See you next week.
Bye.